At some point, it's everyone's turn, isn't it? When you try really hard and study a lot for an upcoming math exam you have, or any subject, whatever it may be, and you take the test, and after the test you think, oh, I think that went pretty well. I think it went better than the past tests. And then you get the paper back and it says you got a C. What do you think to yourself? Is the test unfair? Or do you think you're just stupid? Let me give you some more context before you think about that though. Other people in your same class that took the same test as you, they managed to get A's. People that you think studied less than you, again, you think studied less than you, got A's. Even your friend, your close friend that you've been close friends with for a long time, you know each other, and with all the time you spend each other, you've formed kind of like these identities of the other person in each other's head. And to you, his identity is someone that would be dumber than you, specifically even worse at math than you, and yet he might have gotten a better grade than you. When that happens to you, do you think the world is unfair? Or are you not trying hard enough? I'll tell you right now, it's the latter. I lost this weekend. Here's an interesting thought. I've had people in my life that before tests, before basketball games, I used to play in teams, and before piano concerts I had to do. Even before my driver's license, people have told me, and I've heard this told to me, and you can probably relate, that people will tell you what's important is that you try your hardest, give your best. And you can see how with the example of the driver's license specifically, this really doesn't make sense at all, because there's a baseline level of aptitude which everyone needs to show. It's a standard in order to pass the driver's license. Not in Italy though. People here should not be allowed to drive. Oh God, for real. But even for the other activities in your life, people will tell you, just try your hardest. In competition, performance under pressure. Why should you be content with your best? Imagine your best isn't your desired outcome, let alone the best possible outcome. But I discovered something in my continuous journey of trying shit and realizing that my best didn't get me what I wanted. Whether I thought to myself, oh, Jacob, this is the most I can do, but then decided, screw it, I'm just gonna do more anyway. I never regretted it, and I always did better. You always perform better. So if that's the case, if my standard isn't everyone else's standard, then think about this. How hard can you actually try? How much can you give? How much more can you give? How much is the most that anyone can give? And by all means, if you're a guy or girl that clicked on a video about self-improvement called Ego Death, I already would assume that you don't buy into, either at all or partially, to the myth that is talent, natural, born with talent. But even if that isn't the case, and you do think it's a thing, allow me to reiterate it for you. The only advantage you have over anyone else in the world, in any particular skill, has always been, is only, and will only ever be physical attributes that you are born with, or acquire through living your life, and maybe you go through accidents. So if you're blind, if you're deaf, if you're disabled, if you're mentally ill, or if, again, you went through an accident and lost a limb or something, that's the only talent that is real. Everything else is an excuse of the lazy. An excuse of the lazy. And mind you, even though I say this, cases of people with these disadvantages or lack of talents, as I just defined it, do exist that outperform people. Like, people with these problems can still outperform you. And they do. And they will continue also to exist. Talent isn't real. It's just how much you like something that will make you more likely to, you're gonna be more inclined to put more effort in doing the activity and just straight up hours doing it to begin with. So then naturally, you're gonna become better than your peers at it. This is not talent. This is hard work. And I'm sorry to break it to you, but if you believe that talent exists, then you are not a winner at that thing you do. You're not good at it. Step one on the road to making it is understanding that you, I, they, we are not special. We're a lot more alike than you think. Nobody is special. We're all humans. Your best, and I know no one's ever told you this, but let me explode your brain real quick. Your best, my best, our best, their best is all the same. If you actually try your best, you cannot lose. No one could. The universe is an ultimate, cruel meritocracy. It will never fail to reward merit and hard work. The courage to put in the work will lend you the strength to best all adversity and aid you towards your victories. We're the same, you know. Me and Valentino, the guy that beat me, we're the same. You and whoever you might have lost to in your life, you were the same. Suffering ego death is something that can always do you good and will always only do you good, because it's your ego that died, not your passion or your drive or you're still good. What died is your ego. And if just that dies, then you will stop believing that you are above the amount of work you should have put in to achieve what you wanted to achieve, but didn't. You'll stop believing that you're above the work, and so you'll just do the work. At first, to make any improvement in any aspect of our lives, we must realize to begin with that our lives could be better, they can be better. Then also realize that we're not special, and that if we put in the work, we'll get the reward we want. And when we desync the amount of work we put in from the best possible results, we must remind ourselves that we are all the same and that the universe is an even playing field. Maximum possible potential, peak performance belongs to humanity, not me or not you as individuals. Peak performance is granted to he who sacrifices the most, he who wants it the most, and he who will make no excuses for himself / herself. Let's be clear. So, what are you waiting for? Pick up the pen, draw, wear your shoes, and go run. Pack your ball and go to practice. Go to the gym and lift weights. Clean your mouth guard and go fight. I'm gonna be honest with you, however much it feels horrible that I lost this weekend, I also feel satisfied and I feel happy. Because the more ego death I suffer early on in my life, like the younger I am, the more ego death I suffer, the more I will be able to show up when it matters later on in my life. I mean, honestly, I like to think that it's all an investment into my future anyway. I mean, what else were you going to spend your life doing? Were you not going to try a bunch of shit that you find cool and try to get good at it? Were you not going to make money so you can travel the world and experience every culture, explore the world map before you die? Were you not going to decide to autistically dedicate yourself every single waking moment to a single activity so that you become the greatest of all time at it? And as much as the vast majority of humans are not actually like this, but imagine you generally, what fulfilled you, what made you happy was chasing pleasure. So you were a hedonist. Would you not just constantly be doing that, chasing pleasure, being a hedonist? At the end of the day, the way you decide to spend your time is up to you. But if at any point in time, at any point in your life, which as much as you wish was unique, but let's be honest, it really isn't, you felt unsure maybe. You felt that you could definitely do more than what you're currently doing, then why not try? And I don't mean try to your brain's believed standard peak that you can achieve, but to humanity's collective potential. Why not just fucking try? Try really hard, lose, suffer some ego death, kill your ego, reinvent your ego, kill it again, rebirth it, kill it again, reinvent it, kill it, and then eventually win. Look, it's all a competition. It always was a competition, it is a competition, and it only will ever always be a competition. Everything is a competition. Hard as you may try to blind yourself to the truth, lest you lose all 5 of your senses with which you perceive the world, thus stop existing. The fact remains that you need to be better than others. Now think about that, because in different contexts, it can mean different things. But if you think about your life, you realize that every single time you were better than others at something, it was always a good thing. So just think about why that is. And don't be mistaken. You know, I thought this in the past, but then I thought about it for like longer than 5 minutes, and I realized that, yeah, this isn't a complex thought to have, but if you just think about it for like 5 minutes, like I did, you'll realize that there is enough. There is more than enough in variety of skills, activities, combination of varieties and skills that you can have certain levels of aptitude for to be better than others, to feel fulfilled. There is more than enough. Heck, every single day, new stuff you could be good at gets invented. So there is enough. If humans were just less lazy, they would realize that. Use your brain to think. Modern media has kind of like unplugged it, or if not fully unplugged it, like kind of like wiggled it around and pulled on the socket so that now it like kind of works. It's like when your headphone jack isn't fully plugged in, and so you hear everything muffled and you don't really hear the bass of the song. That's kind of what your brain is now in the modern day. It's like your brain is a computer with a virus, modern infinite amounts of fucking content that is using your computer to mine Bitcoin and thus making it run way slower, making its RAM perform worse or whatever. Your brain works at 30% of its actual true capacity or something like that. I'm not a real scientist, I'm a bro scientist, but just take my word for it. What I mean to say is that you are so detached from real life because of the infinite content there is. And honestly, me too, we need to both work on this. Everyone needs to work on this. That we are just performing far worse, not a little bit, far worse than what we could. We could be feeling far more fulfilled and be far better at the things we care about being good at if we just weren't so addicted to that black screen. Why are you addicted to this black screen so much? This one. Why do you like it so much? No matter how good these black screens get at emulating, faking colors of the real world, it will never beat it. It will never be better than the real thing, life. Brothers, sisters, we know what to do. You know what to do. Do it. Live.